right, hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So of course you all know it is summertime 2022 and I wanted to give you all a full garden tour. I wanted to go through all of the flowers and the plants and let you see the progress and see what I've done so far. I want to talk about my back bed first. That has been, or I would say it has been like a 3-year process for me to get this back bed to look like it looks. Believe it or not, it was a huge eyesore in the back of my house, and I decided like I am going to make something of this. So when you see this, just know that it's a 3-year work in progress. I'm really excited about it because this year I finally got it to the point where it's all perennials in the bed. So perennials are flowers that come back every year, and the good part is a lot of these multiply. So I planted this hosta this year. I'm really excited about it because I don't know how big it'll get. I have another hosta on the other corner, and that has grown so much that I'm excited for this entire corner to just fill out. Back here I have my campanula plants. It's actually 2 of them, but they look like one big one with the beautiful purple flowers. And this area here is actually some buds that I planted. I got them from Aldi. I don't know what they're going to ultimately do, but as you can see, some flowers are popping up. I don't really know yet what it's going to be, but we'll see. The ground cover that you see is actually Creeping Jenny. The cool thing about ground cover is that it literally covers the ground. So if you look underneath, you'll see that it protected the ground underneath. And it's just a weed, and so my goal is for it to ultimately take over the entire bed. Things can grow in between it, and it's really cool. I started out with a few sprigs and they come back every year. It's low to medium light, so they always do really well. I like the way that they spill over. I'll probably eventually cut them back. I just do their own thing. I don't even tell them what to do. Next, I have one of my favorite, which is Asian lily. I love them because they're low maintenance and they come back and they multiply. So when I first started my garden, I think I started with maybe 3 lily, and I now have 7 lily already. And they come in these here, you can see they're growing. They'll eventually give me some beautiful flowers. I think they're pinks and oranges is what should come back. But at the end of the season, they go down and they literally look dead. So a lot of times people buy them and they think that they're not going to come back, but they're going to come back. And not only are they going to come back, they're going to multiply. I also planted these cone flowers. This is my first year growing those. They were gifted to me by a really good friend of mine, and so I'm excited to see what they do. I heard that they come back and they multiply. So I have 3 in the garden. This is my first year with them, so I'm assuming next year they'll come back and keep multiplying with the beautiful flowers. I'm not sure what color they are. I think a pink color, but I'm not entirely sure what the actual flower will be. These are called hellebores. Those are also gifted to me, and I heard that they grow really large, and you can get the flowers and cut them and put them in your vase, and they also multiply as well. So they'll be back next year. These are salvia, and they just come back and they'll get taller and taller. They don't multiply, but they will get bigger and bigger. This is my lavender. It smells amazing. It smells so good, and I love the purple flowers at the top. It's so fragrant. These are the Veronica. So this is my mint. I've had this mint now for 5 years. It keeps coming back. I have spearmint and chocolate mint in there. And of course, as you know, it's super fragrant. You can put it in teas and things like that. So I always love the flowers on my deck because they're such a great opportunity to show a lot of variety of colors, and my goal is for them to look like one big flower as opposed to, you know, 4 different or 5 different containers. I like for them to all grow together. So I'll go through what I've grown in the deck, some changes that I made already throughout the summer, and maybe some more. We'll see. So first I have these. So my theme for my garden this year, I don't know if I said it, is Purple Passion. So I love these trailing flowers. I want to say they're petunias, and they are just so beautiful with the speckles of purple and white. So I hang that off the deck. I have these super petunias, and so the idea is for them to kind of fall over. These are coleus. These are coleus, and they'll get taller and taller. These are actually purple sweet potato vines, and they're supposed to be falling over, but they've been growing straight up, so I hope eventually they'll start to fall over. I also have some vines here. I don't want to say what the official name is. I'll drop it down. It's kind of not appropriate. These are begonias. So last year I had them on my deck, and I had a tree. Well, I cut the trees down, and now they're not getting as much shade, so they're burning a little bit, but lately it's been kind of cool, so they're okay. I don't know if they're going to survive the entire summer though, because they cannot take all of this sun that they've been getting. Sweet potato vines, begonia, different color coleus. This is not creeping Jenny, but it's also still a trailing flower, and I love it because it's at the center of the deck, so it'll eventually fall down. Sweet potato vines, coleus, another color, begonia, super petunia, sweet potato vines, some more trailing flowers. And you kind of have to train them to trail, because otherwise they'll just go in whatever direction they're gonna go in. But you just train them and they'll keep falling. I added those. And just rinse and repeat. These are kind of hidden. They're supposed to get taller. I want to say they're zinnias, but let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, because I don't remember all the name of these flowers. This is basically my herb rack. That is purple basil. Tastes just like basil, but it just looks purple. This, I have the transcendentia in the middle, which is going to eventually fall down. That was the name I was trying not to say earlier. But I have basil on each side. So these are basil, and some are going to flower already. Lavender, and below is chamomile. This is dill. So it's gotten so tall, but a lot of it's gone to seed, but you can still use it and it smells great. This is lemon balm, which a lot of people sometimes think lemon balm looks like mint, but it's a little different, but it is a weed and it'll return just like mint does. This is my pollinator bed. So I wanted to plant something to draw hummingbirds and bees and butterflies to come. So this is all pollinators, zinnia, and actually got to be right now, this at this exact moment. Okay, he didn't hang around. So this is all pollinators. I have been deadheading some of them, and they'll come right back, but they're so pretty. And these will get taller as well, but all flowers in here. So I'm growing green peppers this year. Love growing green peppers. They're so perfect to use. I actually have a few babies growing. You can see them really, really little. These are white potatoes. So last year I tried to grow sweet potatoes. I got a whole bunch of sweet potato vines and no sweet potatoes. But this year so far it's doing okay. I had to cover them because of the squirrels. I'm like, great guys, but they're still coming. So you get the leaves first, and then underneath will be the potatoes. These are sweet peppers, so three different plants. You can see I already have some growing. Again, I had to cover them because of the squirrels were having their way with them. And these are purple onions, so they're doing really well. growing. And fun fact, you can actually cut this part off and use it already just like chives, even though I'm growing chives. Just if you're growing these in your garden, you can do that. This is probably my 3rd year trying to grow carrots. So far it's so good, but we'll see. I haven't had a lot of success growing carrots. I will get all of the parsley at the top, but the carrot itself won't be as tall. So this is the first year I'm growing them in containers, so hopefully I'll have some success with those. And these are jalapenos. So I love growing peppers. Peppers take a long time to grow, but I actually plan to kind of remove some of these branches so it can focus more on the fruit. Oh, look, we actually got a little big one growing. So I have lettuce here. I've already started eating it. It's so good. So it's not as full as it was because I've actually been eating it, but it's so beautiful in this bed. And I'll probably have another month or so with it, and then, you know, as season ends, it'll go to seed because this is more a cool weather vegetable. And then we have our purple cabbage, which I love to grow for the color. You guys know I grow that almost every year. We have over here, my grapes are coming back. So I have little nodules here, so I know they're coming back. This will be my 2nd year with my grapes. So it takes about 3 to 4 years before they grow into, you know, whatever you want them to be. So, but this is letting me know that they're coming back. So we'll see how it goes throughout the season. I also have some collard greens. I had so much stuff that I bought from the greenhouse. I was like just finding places to put it. So I put some greens in here. So these are collard greens. And then the other bed is kale. So it's grape on both sides, but in the other bed I have kale and then the purple cabbage. And this is actually 3 different cabbages, so 3 different plants, but it looks like one big one. But since they've grown, they've gotten so large. These are purple hearts. I love growing them. Again, my theme this summer is purple passion, so I definitely wanted to make sure I had some purple to incorporate in the garden, even though I love using purple in the garden anyway. And I love them because, you know, you get those flowers in the low sun and in the evening, and they just look so pretty, and they draw pollinators too. They're so easy to propagate. So if you ever see some and someone gifts you one, I will give people like one, and many will come from this. So these are vines. In Chicago, in my zone, they don't come back, but in other warmer zones they do come back. These are actually container sunflowers. So I grow them every year, and they're sunflowers, but they'll be shorter than usual. Okay. Of course, you all know one of my favorite things to grow are cucumbers. So I have cucumbers growing this year. This is probably about 8 different cucumbers, but they've all grown up, and of course they're gonna grow up this trellis. And I'm getting some buds already, so I know that they're coming soon. I've been training it how to go up the trellis, and this is just a note for anybody. You know, you don't really have to do much to teach it how to get on the trellis. If you just lay it close to the trellis, it'll start climbing, and you'll see some of the ones have already started holding on to the trellis, and that's how it learns to do it. You just lean it there, and it'll eventually grab hold to a trellis. These are 6 different variety of tomatoes. So I'll just list them. I don't know which one is which. I'll tell y'all the truth. We have cherry, better boys, Roma, and early girls. So I have all of those tomatoes growing. And I think between the two, there's some indeterminate tomatoes, but yeah, we're getting some buds, and I'll probably prune the leaves soon, so we can start getting some growth. But you see we have the buds, so tomatoes should start coming. The middle area, I always have marigolds, and those are to draw my pollinators and to deal with aphids, or aphids I think they're called. But I'll start from the back and work my way up. It is Georgia collard greens, kale, mustard, kale, and then purple cabbage. So this is just my green vegetables area. I've already started eating some of the mustard greens, and they are so good. I always like to grow greens in my garden. I guess you could say this is the ancestral area. There are different variety of sunflowers that I'm growing in my garden. This entire row is going to be sunflowers. So I actually am growing 2 different varieties of pumpkin, and the small ones and the big ones. Word to the wise, chives are amazing to grow in your garden, but make sure you put them in a pot. I made the big mistake of planting them in my garden, and now they come back every year and they multiply. So I'm constantly planting around these chives, and I love them. And you can actually eat these chive flowers. You can put them in butter and things like that. But chives are a wonderful herb, but they're perennial. They come back and they multiply. So learn from me. Do not plant chives in your garden. So I'm growing 2 different types of watermelon this time in my garden. I have tried to grow watermelon probably for like 5 years. Every year they get only so far, and then they stop growing for one reason or another. So I'm working on it. I need to weed my garden for one thing, because I don't need anything taken away from the water. But yeah, we'll have some watermelon this year, hopefully. So my goal for the watermelon is for them to grow their vines, because the sunflowers are going to go up and the watermelon, the vines are going to go this way. So ultimately it may end up going over my bed. So we'll see. I've had success with pumpkins, but not watermelons. So hopefully this year I will have some growth. Enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and like this video and share it with a friend who also enjoys gardening. I would love to hear from you. Bye, friends.